Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Dawn.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, photography is such an intriguing business. So, for people who don't know, would you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Natasha with Natasha McGuire Photography. I'm a wedding and portrait photographer. I take photos of events, weddings, portraits, including headshots, family shoots. I love helping other businesses to like branding photos.
Would you tell us a little bit about your business origin story? How did you get
Sure.
into professional photography?
Sure. So I always love photography. I got really excited when I first got my first point and shoot camera. I guess just the digital aspect of it, so easy to like have the photos right then. But then when I bought my first professional camera, I bought it from a family friend who was selling her camera, and she was so awesome, answered all my questions. She came to my house. We did a quick tutorial. She took me on an engagement shoot with her. And it was totally different than I expected, but I loved it. Because up until that point, I had just photographed friends and family, like people I knew. So that was my first time photographing people that I had never met before. So it was really fun. It was really fun. So that was awesome that she was so open to sharing. And it just kind of got the ball rolling. And I shared with her, I didn't realize how after that I would want to keep going with it and maybe like buy more and more stuff for my gear too. So yeah, that was really what started it.
Wow. And so that was your origin. And then what happened?
Yeah, so I was working full time at another profession. So I was just doing photography nights and weekends. But then just kind of like word of mouth referrals kept building, and I felt like I had two full-time jobs. So I had a decision to make. And luckily, my husband was on board with me going full-time photography. So I started photography in 2011, and then 2013 went full-time. And I also had other wonderful mentors leading up into that point too. So definitely credit even just other photographers, learning from them. So
Oh, that's so awesome.
yeah.
So full time for just over 10 years now.
Yeah.
And did you say that you did some time in California?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So started my business here in St. Louis, where my husband and I are both from. Then my husband's job actually took us to California, which was an amazing place to go for a photographer. We were in Northern California. So started my business over there. I didn't really know how that was going to go, but joined networking groups right away. And
Hmm.
that was awesome to meet other business professionals who were, other small businesses, and we're all growing our businesses together. So that was really cool. And then after that, we were in Kansas City for 1 year, and now we've been back in St. Louis for 5. So it's
Wow.
been good, yeah, to be back.
So you came back pre-pandemic.
So yes, we came back in 2018.
Okay.
Yep.
What was it like for photography during the pandemic?
It was crazy in a way because you're told that you're not essential. So you're, told to stay home and not work. So I just remember kind of driving around my neighborhood, and I love our neighborhood. We're in South City near Condolet Park, and I was just taking pictures of the houses.
Hmm.
And people were putting art in their windows. So people were wanting you to, go for walks and kind of see the art. And I remember doing that. And then kind of the front porch photos got popular. And my husband heard about it. He's like, "Why aren't you doing that?" I'm like, "I don't know, maybe I should." So I got to do a lot of front porch photos and meet even more neighbors through that, because I would offer the photos to my neighbors and say, "Oh, well, if you know of anyone else who might want front porch photos, let me know." So it was a really cool way to get to know my neighbors.
I
Sure.
love the idea of the front porch photos. I think that ties in really well with real estate.
Yeah.
And I don't think people know that like they can call a photographer and say,
Yes.
"Come take pictures of me at my new house. I want
Yep.
to mark this milestone."
Yeah.
So,
So it was so awesome. Because I think too, you have memories in your home and, just you in front of your house. It's just, I was doing that for families before the pandemic. So it was just really cool that it caught on as a thing. And I've been able to keep going with it too.
Yeah, I think, and it's also like a great gift idea. What was the biggest lesson you learned while growing your photography business?
I would say that it takes time, but it's worth it. So as far as just if you're starting a new business, you really, the saying you get out of it what you put into it. So like with networking things too, you got to put in the effort, and with your business, you put in the effort, and it's not going to just happen automatically. It's going to take time. But I feel like, and I've heard this from other business owners and other professions, once you get to like that 3-year mark, you're kind of
Mhm.
got the ball rolling. So yeah, it's totally worth it though. If people are contemplating starting their own business, I think they should.
Yeah. Do you, is it just you, or do you sometimes have partners? Do you have interns? Do you need
Yeah.
interns?
Yeah, so mostly it's just me. I have had interns over the years, which I enjoy. So I'm totally open to having more interns. Um, I've had some that were just in high school, some are right out of high school, so totally open. I've learned from another photographer. He always said, if you have an intern and you teach somebody something, then you learn it twice. So it even like sharpens our skills if we can teach other people things.
Oh, I
So
love
definitely,
that.
yeah. Interns are awesome. And then, yeah, so when I go on a shoot, depending on the size of the shoot, maybe like a large wedding, I would bring another photographer with me.
Mhm.
Sometimes with the timelines, there's multiple things happening at the same time. So we need to kind of divide and conquer. So that's when I'll hire another photographer to come with me.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, but a lot of times it's just me.
Do you want to tell us about the array of services? Because
Sure.
you really, you kind of, you have a lot to offer.
Yeah, yeah. So mostly I photograph people.
Mhm.
So a lot of times people are having, celebrating something in their life. I even have it on one of my contact forms. What are you currently celebrating? Um, so like if you've just moved, if you've just purchased a home, I'll start at your house. Maybe we'll do pictures outside your house. Even if you've just moved in and you don't have it fully furnished, it's totally fine. That would even give it like a studio vibe. So yeah, so definitely what are you celebrating? Let's photograph that. But events even are great. So I think it always takes the event maybe up a notch. So people are like, oh, you have a photographer, how cool, because they've come to this event to help you celebrate something. And usually they're kind of dressed up a little bit, and I'll offer them a photo, and I'd say 95% of the time they say, oh yes, I want a photo. So it's really fun to be able to photograph the special events for people. But also, yeah, like headshots, family photos, business photos. I think everyone needs professional photos, whether it's for your business or your personal life.
Not everybody is super comfortable in front of a
Yes,
camera.
right.
What are 3 things that people can do to get more comfortable in front of a camera?
So I would say preparing ahead of time for the photo shoot. So I'll even send out some tips for a successful session, and it'll have things on there maybe you're not going to think of until the day of, but I'm going to help you think of it ahead of time. So even if it's just like ironing your shirt or layering your outfit or just trying it on, maybe like a week ahead of time, try on your outfit so you're not rushed and feel that pressure on the day of the shoot.
That's
Because
good
I feel
advice.
like if you feel good about that, how the outfit you're in, it's going to show. But then on the day of the shoot, if you could just trust me, because it is my job to make sure that you look your best. So I'll make sure as far as that you have the good lighting, the good posing, the good angles. So at that point, I just want us to have fun.
When people are interviewing photographers, what should they be asking?
Yeah. I always think ask about lighting. So if they know how to put you in the good lighting, or if there isn't currently lighting, if you're shooting at night or if you're in a dark event center, are they going to bring their own lighting? And then are they going to use that lighting? So definitely lighting is key. But also, how are you going to make sure that I look natural? And I know everyone loves the candid photos, but you really, not every moment can be candid once you notice that camera being pointed at you. So definitely over the years, I've developed tips and tricks to make sure we get those candid
Yeah.
and natural moments.
So you told me about something that I didn't know was a thing, but I think it is really cool, and that's
Mhm.
the proposal shots.
Yeah, yeah. So it's been more and more common. Um, so when you're about to propose to your partner, if you'll reach out to me, I'm happy to help to go over possible locations, any sort of tips, maybe how you can be turned. And so I have hid before. So like if you're gonna propose to your partner, I can be there and be ready to capture that moment whenever you're having the question.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Where's the craziest place you've ever hid?
Oh my gosh. Whew. So I'm just thinking of like when I lived in California, I was at an Airbnb.
Hmm.
And I was just kind of pretending to take photos of the venue. Um, but the craziest thing, yeah, I mean, for me, I guess crazy being out in California and being in the vineyards and like being ready for someone to pop a question. It's really cool. I mean, and kind of nerve-wracking, like, oh my God, I'm going to capture this. So, but here in St. Louis, it's been awesome. I've got to go to the botanical gardens to photograph a proposal, Forest Park, of course. So and even like family property, I got to go to a family property for proposal. He had it all decorated with like lights and candles and flowers. So it's really cool.
Oh wow, it just sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I like moment of our proposal is sort of burned into my memory. Like I know exactly where we were, but I would love to have had a photo of that.
Yeah. It's pretty
I,
cool that now it seems like it's a thing.
that's
So
I love that. I think that's
yeah,
amazing. Are you ready for the St. Louis lightning round?
sure.
Okay. So
Huh.
a lot of times I'm asking like, what's your favorite restaurant? Where do you love to go to lunch? But I think for this one, like I really want to see St. Louis through a photographer's eye.
Hmm.
So for people who are for tourists, for people coming to St. Louis and they're not from here, but they're just coming to look around, spend a weekend, spend a week. What are four places that you think they should visit and photograph?
So I actually just had this happen.
Oh, really?
Another one of my proposals, they were from out of the area. So, and he was totally open to my suggestions. So it was awesome. And right away, I thought of Forest Park. I mean,
Mhm.
it's the location of the World's Fair. So I'll usually say, let's start at the art museum because it's a really cool kind of architectural vibe. Then you can walk down to the Grand Basin. There's really cool bridges. So there's a white suspension bridge within the park.
I
That's
don't
really,
I don't know where that is. That's cool.
yeah, it's really cool. You can walk to it from the Grand Basin.
Okay.
And then there is the Victorian footbridge also in the park that is a more of a wrought iron. It kind of has this kind of curves on the sides. It's a really cool spot for photos too. So of course in the Muni that's also in Forest Park. So Forest Park is just an awesome place to go.
Okay.
But
Well, that was my next question. What's your
oh
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna modify it.
Yeah.
Uh Excluding Forest Park,
Mhm.
what's your favorite park to photograph in?
So St. Louis City has a lot of awesome parks. I would say probably number two would be Lafayette Park. So in
Oh,
Lafayette Square.
yes.
Yeah, because there are a lot of good spots. And even just like the perimeter of the park is so
Mhm.
cool with all those homes. They're like Victorian. And a lot of people want that as their backdrop, the
Yeah.
homes in that area. So I've got to shoot a wedding um at a venue nearby. So we got to do pictures in the park and we were kind of walking up and down the streets with all the homes. And the homeowners welcome it. They're kind of, oh yeah, feel free to take pictures. So it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I bet they get a lot. I mean, because those buildings are so
Yeah.
pretty.
Yes.
So unique. But that's where we got married in Lafayette Square.
Oh yay.
Yeah. So our wedding pictures are in Lafayette Park and
Yeah.
they are I love them so much.
Yeah, yeah. What time of year was it?
Hmm?
What time of year was it?
May.
May, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it was perfect. Okay, what is your favorite wedding venue? Or, and you don't have to do just one, but like, do you have a couple favorite wedding venues to
Yeah,
shoot? Like,
I do. I even have a few. If you go to my website, there's a articles tab, and I featured a few venues. So I love Hotel St. Louis
mhm.
because of all the stained glass. So they have a stained glass ceiling. If you go to their mezzanine level, the
Mhm.
ceiling is stained glass. That's really cool. So I've done first look pictures there with the bride and groom, and also cocktail hour up there. So it's really
Oh,
cool.
fun.
Also Barnett on Washington. Check out that venue. Majorette is really cool. So all of those, if you go to my website, there's picture examples too that you can see.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
And then best proposal spots.
I mean, when I went to the botanical gardens, that was pretty cool. So we went to the boxwood gardens, and depending on the time of year you go, we were there kind of April, and it was full of tulips. So that was
Oh,
really
wow.
cool. And it's kind of like a maze in there, how they have the boxwoods. So I mean, you can't go wrong with botanical gardens.
Yeah, you got a lot to work with there.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I will conclude St. Louis Lightning Round with your favorite lunch spot.
Ooh. So I go to Lana's Little Eats quite a bit. Yeah, it's in Fox Park. So it's not too far from me. It's all gluten-free. And it's just really good.
So, Natasha, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'm really excited to share this episode with our clients and our listeners. And I have a special surprise for any of our past clients, anyone who has like bought a house with the Dawn Griffin Group. We are going to give away one of your mini sessions. And really, our clients could use it like however they want to use it, but I know that you recently helped someone like take a photo of their new house. Do you want to just tell a little bit
Yeah.
about that
Yeah,
story?
so that was another South City home, not too far from myself. So a couple just purchased their first home together. And so we set up a mini session that we're going to come and do front porch photos again. And she brought champagne and some champagne flutes and popped the cork while I'm snapping away and sprayed the champagne everywhere. We had a lot of fun with it. Also put them on the front porch with all the brick homes all around. And it was just the time like celebrate this fun time in their life. So I really enjoyed it.
Okay, I'm so excited for that. I cannot wait to put this out there and
Yeah.
give that opportunity to one of our past clients. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. I'm so excited that you were on here, and I cannot wait to share this podcast with everyone.
My pleasure. Thanks, Dawn.
Yeah, you bet. Take care. I'll see you later.
Too. Thanks, Dawn. Bye.
Bye.